live.
It's time for Nuglife Radio, a higher level of education for the cannabis counterculture community, featuring Medi Mike with the cannabis correspondent Benji. Call 760-79.
Oh, don't call that number.
I'll say that again slowly.
Don't say it again. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Nuglife Radio Show, a higher level of education for the cannabis counterculture community. I am your host, stand-up comedian, event prolific, and now published author, Medicinal Mike. We have Benji Cooper going to be doing the news later on today. We also have special guests today, the Zeds, HempCon champions. They're going to be in the studio, and we have... fucked it up already. Jeremiah Reeves, stand-up comedian, a.k.a. Jermaine, thank you. I widened your name up for you right there, my bad. So we do have a great show planned today. We got a lot of guests. It's happy to be back. We have been off the air for this show for about 6 years. If you know, when you tuned in before, we used to be on KSFR. We were on a whole bunch of stations in Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, and now we are back here on the bottom of 7 stories in beautiful San Francisco, California. We now know how we're going to die. If you are searching for the bodies, I would prefer you look for the 4th day because I am in there somewhere. Check by the vending machine. We don't forget, coming up next week, you're going to have the Emerald Cup out there in Santa Rosa, California, one of the top cannabis events in the country. I've never hosted it yet, but I have got to perform there. It is fantastic. In the last 6 years, all you've missed is, the death of HempCon. That was great. I did that show for 8 years, all around the community out here, and that one's gone. What else? COVID came and went, or it came back and went and came back. Trump came and went, and Trump is crap. I'm very vocal because I try not to touch on the politics, but not a big fan of Donald Trump or anybody else who appears racist in any way, shape, or form. I have come back on the air because you people got lazy. You are now taking advantage of all the work and sacrifice that we did just a short time ago and destroying it with 21-gram dabs and crappy award trophies for winning nothing. If you don't do nothing in cannabis, there's no such thing as best barber in cannabis. I'm sorry. It doesn't exist. So if you're out there and you got an award and you can't figure out why you won it, you probably didn't deserve it. If you're asking me, the only real award is the Nuglife Radio's Lifetime Achievement Award that we slowly find you out there and we pull you like a diamond out of the desert, and we let you know that we know that you worked hard in the cannabis world, but you didn't make any money doing it. You just kind of help people out, and you're feeling like people forgot. Well, this show is for you. This is a voice for people who are not born with natural good looks like myself and Jeremiah here. Sorry, Adam. And why do I keep saying that? Jermaine, my bad. I told you, you're my first black friend. Jermaine, I keep saying Jeremiah, we'll figure it out. Medicated is no longer a term anymore. Everybody has went from medicinal mics to recreational Ricks. So we do appreciate there's a place for recreation, but we want you to not forget that medical is important. And a big shout out and a lot of love to our friend Andrew Hutchins. If you used to watch the old show, he called in every single day. And he passed away. Unfortunately, at a very young age. The funny thing about it, and there is no funny thing when someone passes away, but he was on like national television at a burrito eating competition, and was eating 12 times as fast as everybody else, and apparently he forgot to take a breath. So rest in peace, Andrew. He would appreciate that. He was also our mascot. He wore the lion costume, helped pass out the awards. That man was amazing, amazing person. And we make jokes because we don't want to cry about it anymore. This week in the news, ADA, which is the, ADA, American Dental Association, studies show a rise in patients high at the dentist. So apparently, people don't like pain, and they figured out that if you smoke a little weed before that, you don't have to deal with any of the pains and anxieties. You could just get as stoned. Let me tell you, I went to the dentist once. I went to the dentist more than once. But on this one particular time, I had a childhood friend, Nathan Singh, who liked to smoke lots of marijuana, and he worked at this dental lab. And he got me an appointment, and I sat in that chair right after smoking with him. And the woman that was working on my teeth, didn't seem to know what she was doing, so I requested another person, and lo and behold, here comes Nathan Singh, like, hey, bro, and he's just with his things in my mouth. Also the title of my porno. Also in the news, children at the Van Nuys Middle School after allegedly ingesting cannabis. Children, thanks, Benji Cooper. Children at the Van Nuys Middle School that's what he says, after allegedly ingesting cannabis. I happen to know this story. They had a bunch of kids who got into the gummy bears. Not my kids. Mine are in the car with the windows cracked. And they got into the gummy bears. And they ate the gummy bears, and they all got medicated at school, and I think a couple teachers there. But shout out to Benji Cooper for half a story. Canadian study shows more people driving high on edibles after cannabis legalization than before. That doesn't seem like it's news. If you are out there and you are driving your car and you are medicating, remember, it's hard to hit that turn signal and the windshield blade at the same time if there's a joint in your hand. So we would prefer you do your medicating in a reasonable time. Medicate it. We don't even say that no more. You get stoned. We can say that now. You're getting stoned out there. Do it safely and responsibly. You are setting the example. It's still the first years of recreational cannabis. So if you're out there and you and your dumb, fast and furious buddy friends are getting stoned and doing circles in the parking lot of a Walmart, you're going to make it bad for everybody. Then nobody's going to be allowed to drive circles in the parking lot at a Walmart. That's what's going on in the news there. Survey says that New York City's unlicensed shops are selling cannabis contaminated with salmonella and pesticides. Let me tell you right now my whole views on this because it's super important. If you didn't die in the first 20 billion years that cannabis has been around, nobody's died, which means you've been smoking salmonella, pesticides, powdery mildew, sprayed on Coca-Cola to make it a little more heavier and chargeable. You ain't died. You're fine. Quit complaining. The whole world of cannabis is turning into Karens and Chads on cannabis. I don't want to see your little egg timer when you're smoking or an app on your phone that plays We're in the Money or some appropriated Bob Marley song that you don't know all the words to. Give it up, man. We used to chop our dry-ass Mexican brickweed up on a plate, and you would shake it, and thousands of seeds would come tumbling out. And you know what you did? You started your own garden. You didn't bitch and complain and ask for coupons when ordering your cannabis. So, if you are out there and you are in New York City, the salmonella and pesticide is probably the least of your concerns. I wouldn't even walk out of the house without wearing a condom in that state. Shout out to New York, though. I was born there. Long Island. Legalized cannabis reduced opioid use in America's cancer patients. And you shouldn't even be saying that out loud because that's when Big Pharma likes to take you down. They are slowly realizing that people are not only treated, but reversing the damage that cancer cells are doing, if not alleviating it altogether. You have people that are out there, and I know David King in Missouri, just to be specific, who also did a 20-year prison sentence. Gangster. But he was treating his cancer, and I believe he had the colon cancer or stomach cancer. That's what it was, stomach cancer. And he treated it with RSO liquid and completely cured himself. And he goes out now state to state trying to help other people. And whether cancer research or anything might not affect you directly, you might run into somebody who their parent or their family is dealing with cancer research. Oh, that's a bad idea. Bad idea. You're going to take the charger out of the main camera, huh? Because if that goes out, then the whole show dies. I got a cord for you. That's not the main camera cord. Jermaine. This is an iPhone cord right here. This is an iPhone cord. Look. You want the iPhone cord? That's iPhone. Bam. All right, back in the news. We now have power restored to the show. Legalized cannabis reduce opioid use in American cancer patients. That's what we were talking about, and that's really not a biggie anyway either. If you are dealing with cancer and you're not using cannabis at this point, you're either just uneducated on the medical effects of cannabis and still living in the stigma of what was before. Just all that extra. I wish I could turn the camera around because Jermaine just got the whole sheet down on him. I mean, look, he's trying to be smooth about it. Nothing to see here. 3 men using Christian mingle. I'm going to do Jermaine as a guest first as soon as I finish this news story. 3 men using Christian mingle to smuggle cannabis arrested at Birmingham airport. See, and this is why I need the extra news parts, because I'm not sure how you're using Christian mingle. You don't have to worry about that, man. Christian mingle to do anything with cannabis. But shout out to you. I mean, I've been using OnlyFans to smuggle cannabis for years, and not only is nobody enlisting on my services, but I'm just short of making $11. So shout out to my OnlyFans page. If you're looking to find it, I want you to see it. Look at the boom. Shout out to Lance Storm out there in Missouri also for WN420, who's calling my direct phone because he sees me on a computer or radio, and he wants to tell me through my direct phone and listen to his ringer ring during the show. Hey, Paul. Paul, you don't have to be quiet. You're going to walk in right in the middle. I might as well say hi. That's Paul's ponytail you see right above the camera. He's on all fours now here at the Nuglife show. This is a clothing optional show. We did ask ahead of time. Paul chose to wear nothing. Shout out to Paul. He's only wearing nothing on the bottom half, though. His top half is just fine. We have a great show lined up for you today. That is your news stories. That is your top headline. It's not your news stories because Benji Cooper does the news and the awesomeness of it. I just give you little tastes of the stuff that doesn't matter, like to fill time. And as soon as my producer guy gets back in his producer chair, there he goes, Paul Brumbaugh. You can check him out, too. He's a San Francisco stand-up comedian, travels all over the west side of Chicago, from what I hear. With our next guest, and hopefully his mic is hot without the hand signals. We're going to find out. No, we're working on it. Mr. Engineer.
I see a thumb.
He said, he was like, oh, mic's work.
That's a date, or are we good?
Don't hear him on the monitor.
All right,
He
baby.
keeps doing that thumbs up, but there's no sound coming out. He's just going, yeah. I think he's just a fan of stand-up comedy.
Oh, no, I can hear him, buddy.
Oh, you can hear him. Okay, so I just hear him in real life. But as long as you can hear him. Our very first guest now, in the last 6 years we've been off, and you've seen me on Weed Smarts TV, and We'd Like to Talk, and all these other shows, but none of them had the glory and the magic of what we're doing. And our very first comeback guest, tours all over the United States. The very, very funny stand-up comedian, cannabis enthusiast. This guy has been almost smoke coming off him since he came in the building. Welcome to the show, Mr. Jermaine Reeves. Jermaine, how you doing, brother?
Thank you there. Actually, I'm great, by the way. The only thing is I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, we just abducted him.
It's like Mike or something.
Close, very close. I am medicinal Mike on stage, but just Mike in real life.
That kind of rhymes, and that's dope. And just let me tell the guys out here, I feel honored, first of all, to be the inaugural guest after 6 years, and don't let the accent fool you. I'm from Manchester, by the way.
Beautiful town, just a stone's throw from Liverpool.
From Liverpool there, and I've been in the States now for almost 7 years. Trying this comedy thing.
And what's you're obviously a cannabis user. You showed me some of the finest strains I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I basically said of America where the best in the world is, then I should smoke that, so. But I do got to tell you guys one thing, because you're super great people, that, let me stop fucking around with the fuck around. I am actually Jermaine L. Reeves, and I'm a refugee from Chicago, Illinois.
An American accent. He's been British for the last 2 hours we've been here. And then you're going to pull this. I take all my Trump joke backs.
I look like Mos Def, but I sound like...
You do look like Mos Def. You hella look like Mos Def.
That's what they tell
In fact, our first guest on our inaugural show...
3 for 1. Then I can take my hat off when we got Lamar older. See, yeah.
How long have you been a stand-up comedian?
Actually, almost 7 years. It will be 7 years. February the 3rd, 2023. And I came here February the 3rd.
And you're headlining. You're established and kicking ass up there.
COVID threw a monkey wrench, of course, into every fucking thing. But
did you do them crappy online?
No.
You don't have to wear pants shows
I'm too
like
extra
Paul.
for that, and Paul can attest to. I actually made history because those little parklets that they had outside of the restaurants and shit.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? I actually convinced one of the bar owners on Geary Street in the middle of the Tenderloin that he should give me a mic, and Paul did it, and a bunch of comedians did it in the middle of COVID, and we were actually outside in the parklet with a big speaker and some microphones, and we had everybody from like a.
Did you catch any of that COVID?
If I recently I did, but
Wait, how recent? Like yesterday recent?
Probably like a couple of months, because I'm like the opposite of most black people. I'm super a shot enthusiast. Like, I lied to get my first shot. Like, they're like, if you work for the hospital, I was like, I'm Dr. Jermaine. How's it going? I need my shot. I'm not fucking around with you people.
How many shots have they given you?
Trace. I got 3, and then I got COVID a couple months ago, and I was trying to get the 4th one, and they're like, nah, that's not how it works, you know what I'm saying? Since you actually had it, you know what I'm saying?
Now you don't need it.
Yeah, no, you're good.
So you got 3 shots for nothing. What did you feel like the 3 shots did?
No.
And I've got 2. I got 2 to 3.
I got 3, and I definitely can't say it wasn't for nothing, because it got me through fucking the whole pandemic without being sick. Like, if I did, I couldn't distinguish it from a regular cold. It wasn't any time where I couldn't breathe, or I couldn't smell, or I felt like I needed to go to the hospital, and I knew it was because of the shots.
And what is it that let you, because traditionally in the black community, vaccinations are real low. They don't trust any of the pharmaceuticals.
Which has basis.
But you were the first one in line.
I lied. It sounds like a joke, but I really did. You know what I'm saying? I seen that shit because, first of all, I'm a polymath. I don't know if you know what that is, but I know a little bit about a whole bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really science-based, you know what I'm saying? And I just use logic because I lost my best friend on the planet, 2 months into COVID, first of all. You know what I'm saying?
Condolences, yeah.
And I always was on the mindset, like, how do you not trust a doctor that brought you in the world, right? And I used to tell people this analogy or situation, like, if I stabbed you right now, right, where the fuck are you going? To the hospital, right?
Right.
And before the doctor comes in there and fixes you up, are you gonna say, "Hey, what's in that shot right there? Is it fucking?"
Depends on where you stab me.
No, I'm just saying, logically, right? You gonna say, "No, do what the fuck you gotta do to make me better," right? He can go piss in the needle, goddamn it, and put it in you, and you wouldn't give a fuck, right? Just like if you had a baby, or ladies with the epidural shit, right? They don't give a fuck what it hates. Like, some ladies will, some people won't, but the majority, like, man, this is gonna stop the pain or whatever. So it just made sense to me that microchips and glass couldn't fucking be in there. And I understand the technology behind it. You know what I'm saying? I studied it, and I was. Yeah.
Let me tell you, and I had that same point of view. And then I go and do a show at UNLV with the medical school, and I'm hosting. They're getting it's with cannabis and doctors. And then at the after party, I sat in this room with about 8 of the doctors, and COVID just started, and I said, "Hey, I got vaccinated," and the room got quiet, and then all these doctors started laughing their asses off. Ha ha ha! And I said, "What are y'all laughing at?" And they were like, "We ain't letting none of that get in me." And a lot of the doctors you'll find that work in pathology and stuff are making their own anti-COVID serum or whatever, but not one doctor, and I mean a room full of doctors. I felt like I did not expect that reaction. I expected them to be like, "Yeah, way to go." I was bragging to say I got the shot, and they left me out the room like I had put herpes in my needle.
Well, I think it's because when
your mic's not hot and they can't hear you because you're a ghost still.
Overwhelmingly, 90% are vaccine, you know what I'm saying, are pro-vaccines or whatever.
But does it say that somewhere?
Yeah, of course it does. Look up at all the studies. And what really got me was, if you noticed in the beginning of the pandemic, the people in America who had the highest vaccination rates, you know where they were? Right here. You feel me?
In San Francisco?
Oh, the San Francisco area was high also. But what is that county, that Marin County, Beach County, or whatever? Now, they had 97% vaccination rates in the beginning or throughout the whole pandemic. And I'm saying to myself, these people got more money than anybody in the world, and if they trust in these shots to go in their goddamn arms, what is my broke EBT ass goddamn it?
I don't know, man.
And those were the facts, though, bro.
If I was trying,
those rates, bro, that's the truth.
If I was trying to control a population of what is now 8 billion people as of the other day, 8 billionth baby, I would make those first 2 vaccines go out good. I'll put the good stuff in that one. And then, because I know if I vaccinate you and you got the good stuff, you might tell somebody who doesn't want to be vaccinated, hey, say, look, I feel great now. I'm 3 inches taller and my dick's bigger. You know, like everything is great. And then I'm going to go, oh, okay, I'll get vaccinated too. And that's where they put the mind control. It could happen. They put something in there. I mean, short of sitting on top of buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Ways
that's a good
for
point.
them to get it into you to go through that long ass process.
That, you know what? That's probably the most intelligent point I've heard on the whole thing. Because now I'm like, yeah, you know what? They could have just killed me in many, many ways. Put it at the tip of the Trojans or.
Put it on your barcode. Like every time you get a board, they give you as the virus. You know what I'm saying? Or you walking through a mist or something, you think it's the fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like why do I have to go through this elaborate plan just to give it to you? You know, whatever.
They are finding.
Either other way, you know.
We can in entertainment. We get listed out or one way or the other.
You can't cancel me. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want to say. They didn't make me. But the only thing I was saying is with that is what if you're wrong, bro? You fuck with your life.
That's true.
Like all the sad stories to me was the people who were super anti-vax. Then they were in the hospital about to die, and they was like, Doc, hit me, please, let me get this shot now. And he's like, no, it's not kind of how it works, though, bro.
I haven't seen anybody catch.
Heart-wrenching things where they were like, man, if I knew, I would have. And I'm trying to tell my niggas, like, bro, y'all playing with your life, and if you wrong, it's death. Like, well, to me, it just didn't make a lot of sense.
And I haven't seen people lately getting sick like they were before. You know, you had people in them first couple weeks were. Has it been 4 years now?
Almost 4 years, yeah, bro. This shit just been stretched out and looks like one long ass period.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Think about it. This is 2000.
Like the Trump administration.
It's in 2019. You feel me?
Yeah, that is a long time.
Fucking yeah.
I feel like we need some more of them COVID checks. Like that would make me feel.
And that's what killed me comedic wise about the.
Did you get the big check? Like everyone was getting the unemployments for.
No, actually, I sold a guy my van, and I ended up getting fucking. He used it to fraud the unemployment system, and you know, I was like, no, it wasn't me. You know, I'm not dumb enough to put my face and name on shit like that. So no, I didn't. I got the basic PPE, not the PPE, but you know the stimulus money.
Right. Stimmies.
But nah, I didn't dabble in none of those phony loans and no shit like that. I didn't need none of that type of shit. But yeah,
I did.
Was a fucking killer for comedy, man.
I needed it. What is your favorite part about being a comic, especially after COVID right now? What's the thirst? Addicted to the applause?
Yeah, it's cathartic, first of all. You know what I'm saying? It's therapy, and I think that God gave comedians the gift of laughter so they wouldn't blow their brains out every day. You know what I'm saying? Or in my case, because, you know, they always say the cliche shit, you know, most comedians got rough past or whatever.
Bad parents make great comics.
Yeah, exactly. Or whatever. But for me, it's just the workout of, you know what I'm saying, being able to make anything off of your talents. Because at the end of the day, you're getting paid for running your mouth.
Right.
Some shit you wrote down. And I specialize in, like, I'm headlining his show next week in Redwood City. I'm not going to say it's like an all-white crowd, but okay, it's an all-white crowd. Yeah, last time
I know a meth town when I pull into one.
Yeah, it was 2 niggas there last time. It was me and the microphone or whatever. But I wear a mask, right? And
Why do you wear a mask?
Because I have an alter ego called Tab G, which is TABG, and that stands for Tall Angry Black Guy, right? Because I figure if I come in there with a suit on and a priest collar, some white people will still look at me like, tall and black guy. So this is my character Tab G that I do. The last time I was at his show, a white lady standing in the front row just staring at me like, what the hell is this nigga gonna do, right? And after the show, I'm outside smoking, and she walks past and she goes, and I told Paul this story, right, Paul, a million times. But he's shaking his head like, of course you did. But she walks past me and she goes, you know what? After everybody, out of all the people that were up there, you were my absolute favorite, and I appreciated what you did. And that little small, you know what I'm saying, gesture, and I joke with her, like, you want to say that on camera? And I was like, nah, I'm cool. Because I get it a lot. But for me, that's a hard thing to do, being a black comedian at an all-white room and be the best, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hands down, not on no bragging shit, you know what I'm saying? And vice versa, I really never see a white comedian go to a black room and kill it. They can be, you know what I'm saying, they'll be on the level, you know what I'm saying, but rarely do they be the best. So
I find if you don't do gay jokes, as soon as you do a gay joke at a black club, game over.
I do gay jokes all the time.
At a black club?
Of course.
Man.
My uncle is gay. I got a different, you know.
Wait. Okay, so I do jokes where I'm like I don't even know. There's gonna be a party and it's me and this dude, and there was dancing, fighting, and fucking, and it was just me and him. You know, like, but if you incline toward, and I'm straight, ish, you know, enough. If you
straight on your way to the game.
Oh, there's a bar, you know. Once you start training, you're like, is it a 90-40? Right. I don't know, so we can say that. First guest, last guest.
You can't cancel me, bro.
We of that age too. Like back in the day, that was almost a compliment. You know, I meant the guy who brought the football, but then left the game early and screwed everybody else over.
I tell gay jokes to not bash gay people. Like, this is the type of, and Paul will attest to you, those are the type of gay jokes that I tell. Like, honestly, I'm a real nigga, and I don't give a fuck about anybody's sexual preference, right? Because you could like to get brooms stuck up your ass, right? Just don't sweep around me, and we good, right? Because I don't care about who you have sex with. I care about if I drop my wallet, would you give it back to me? You know what I'm saying? I care about who's about to fight, you know what I'm saying? Would you fucking help me fight? You know what I'm saying? But your sexual preference is not my thing. But if I could be gay, right, I would be like Michael K. Williams. You remember him from The Wire? Omar and shit.
Okay, yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah, that's what I would be if I could be gay, because
you can. It's San Francisco in 2022. You can be gay. John, you pull back real quick.
Yeah, no, it's okay because I'm super accepting. But look, if I could though, right, I would go to the hood and do shit like twerk vibes, right? I would go to the hood, roll down my window, find the prettiest, thickest nigga, take my gun, and say, you over there. Get the twerking, pull this gun, get the working. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't care. I would actually take, you know, I would knock a nigga out and then suck his dick if that was.
Very
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Be open.
I hadn't decided yet if we were going to do a PG-13 or an R show, but I think you just made that for us. Now, every show after this, we can start cursing now and everything, and I'll be like, yeah, Jermaine said that back in the day.
Yeah, I don't have a PC, you know.
No filter.
No coffee pot.
Where can people find you? Where's your greatest place?
I'm panhandling by the Safeway on Saturday, so you can see me down there if you got some extra change. No, I'm just bullshitting. Actually, I'm about to leave San Francisco February 3rd, 2023, my 7 years here. And I'm moving to Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. And I'll be coming back monthly to do my United Nations comedy show. But long story short, you can find me on all social medias, Jermaine L. Reeves, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, on Top of Your Sister, I don't know. No.
She's a hoe, you know her.
Depends on how fast. But I'm not picky nowadays. I'm looking for one thing specific in a girl because San Francisco is so hot. I'm looking for a white chick with low self-esteem and a high credit rating that still believes in my dreams. If you're out there, hey.
She is. I just divorced her, and I'll get you her number.
But yeah, you can find me, you know what I'm saying, on social media under Jermaine L. Reeves. I do a show called The Brokest Dopest Show. that stars D.A. Brocus Docus. He has something up that says somebody's audio works. Yeah, the one
What is he trying to?
Benny's
Oh, that's wonderful.
audio works.
Jermaine, thank you very much. You are our first guest.
Thank you.
First
Thank
guest.
you.
Feel free to stick around. I'm gonna do some
appreciate
new stuff, and then we're gonna
that.
chime in with the weed peoples and more weed peoples. Make sure if you see Jermaine on stage, smoke him out.
And please, do not, if you see me on the street, I'm not trying to snatch your purse. You don't have to go across the street or none of that shit. And,
It's not a have, it's a want.
Yeah. But I'm going to take a small break, and I'll be back with you guys. I love you for the...
Jermaine Reeves, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check him out.
Yeah, and I'm
Oh, he's just dying to knock that camera over again. I know, I see he's swaying. Swaying.
Man, that's so fucked up.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just tuning in, you are listening to the Nuglife Radio Show, a higher level of education for the cannabis counterculture community. But I don't think we're counterculture because it's recreational now. You can hear us live on KNSJ, that's what it was, KSFR, that's what it was, and K-Bomb out there in like the between Baker and Pahrump, and I think that died. We are going to get some real news with our real news correspondent, Mr. Benji Cooper. So we are going to take a second and do, hold on, new stuff. See, I didn't do the other news things. Don't worry, Benji. I have your intro, and we are going to find it here on Nuglife Radio. Again, a higher level of education, and I think it's this one.
Now, from around the world, around the country, around the corner, and around and around and around we go. It's Nuglife Radio, Nug News with Benji.
Am I live?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. My mic was working earlier. I wasn't sure if it was on. All right. So, people ever just eat?
It's nice to see you again, Benji. Welcome back after 6 years.
I think it's good. It's good to be back.
You look great. You haven't aged. You got pecs now.
A little bit, maybe.
Sexy. Sorry to interrupt your news. We'll be chiming in periodically.
6 years is a long time,
It's good to see you.
especially in the cannabis
I
industry.
love seeing you.
So, people ever just eat without looking? A burgling
duo robbed the Sweet Dirt dispensary in Portland, Maine shortly after midnight last Friday, making off with only, well, next less than they intended. And that's because the burglars, while they did cause some damage to the store, they didn't leave with anything of value. It's because the dispensary locks its THC products in a safe every night. So the burglars only made off with some empty packaging and some fake gummies. The shop remained closed for much of Saturday as the workers spent the day cleaning up the mess the two witless burglars caused. And police say they are continuing their investigation, but as of Sunday, officers had not apprehended any suspects. Anyone with information regarding the burglary can contact the Portland Police Department. Yeah, you ever go into like a deli or something and they have like fake sandwiches that look real that are in the display case?
Like pretend food. So they have
Yes.
a bunch of truckloads now of fake gummies. Somebody's going to buy those off them.
Yeah, so they broke into the dispensary, smashed the display cases, and they took, display gummies
73 cents in
because the
product.
dispensary locks all the THC products up in the safe every night. So good job. Not the researching what you were
Still
trying
large?
to do before you did it.
Is it still at large, or is my family safe?
I think your family should be safe. This took place on about as far on the other side of the country as you can get in Maine.
Guys are masterminds, Benji. Don't put nothing short of them. What else you
Yes,
got?
California, you're next. All right. Well, I believe congratulations are in order today because today marks the first official day of adult use cannabis sales in Rhode Island. To start, the adult use sales will be at 5 medicinal cannabis shops with adult use licenses. The state put out a call for hybrid licenses back in October. And the first shops include Aura of Rhode Island, the Thomas C. Slater Center, Mother Earth Wellness, Greenleaf Compassionate Care Center, and Rise Warwick. And the adult use sales are possible in the state because of the Rhode Island Cannabis Act, which Governor Dan McKee signed back in May. And he says, we were pleased with the quality and comprehensiveness of the applications we received from the state's compassion centers. And we are proud to launch adult use sales in Rhode Island just 6 months after the Cannabis Act was signed into law, marking the Northeast's fastest implementation period. So congratulations, Rhode Island, making strides.
Something?
They do have lobster up there, and actually,
conversation.
there was a place up there called Charlotte's Lobster Pound,
where she made the news a couple of years ago for quote, medicating her lobsters before she cooks them.
Smoke it out first?
It involved, I do believe it involves some kind of smoke, and the lobster is exposed to the cannabis. And according to Charlotte,
they're hotboxing the lobsters.
What's that?
They're hotboxing the lobsters.
something to that effect. And Charlotte says it does make make a difference
in how the lobster. I think
Smoke a ham, not like you would smoke out a ham.
I think they're just probably maybe a little bit more relaxed.
How do you tell if a lobster's stressed out?
I
Sorry,
don't know.
dumb question.
When the whole thing's red, it's hard to tell if the eyes are red too. Right?
What else you got?
But that's after you cook it, though.
Stupid Rhode Island. What else in the news?
So, according to a new study from Michigan Medicine, cannabis use may affect outcomes in patients of a common bypass surgery called a peripheral artery bypass. So, and that bypass involves rerouting blood around a blocked artery in the arms or legs using a synthetic tube. And blockage can stem from what they call peripheral arterial disease, or PAD, and that's caused by a buildup of plaque in the blood vessels. Unhealthy lifestyles. And you may know it as the hardening of the arteries, and it increases your chance of having a heart attack or stroke. And so according to the study results, cannabis using patients had increased chances of blocked or occluded grafts. And according to the researchers, they say, and I don't know if I agree with this, maybe this was just their study, they say cannabis users were 1.56 more likely to use opioids after discharge. Okay, well.
Crappiest. How do they pass that off at news and facts like this when it's obviously, propaganda? And I mean, to the point now where it's not even where people are miseducated like they were 10 years ago. It's obvious propaganda.
I think they used data from 11,000 patients, I believe, for this.
Bull crap.
You say that
like the Russian vote.
They say that the researchers say that cannabis users were also 1.25
more likely to require amputation 1 year after surgery.
Crap. I don't know anybody who's been amputated. I mean, I know people who have had things amputated exist, but I've smoked out with thousands and thousands of people, and if those facts were true, everybody would be missing something, or at least a heavy percentage of people who've had surgery, which is a lot of people. Maybe 50% of people have had surgery at some point.
Well, at this point, they're just presenting the information that they found, and they're not drawing any conclusions. They said that there's more research that needs to be done before they can kind of come to any conclusions regarding all of it. Cannabis use and this particular bypass surgery.
Accusations, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll prove it later."
Well, no, there's no accusations here. They're just presenting what they found. So they're not saying it, they're just presenting the information and saying, we need to look at this a little bit further to kind of figure out what's happening.
Yeah, that's crap.
That's where they're at this point.
It's like zigzags that are doing it, or the Phillies, like the Philly blunt.
Smoking
the blunt, and they're like, if you smoked a blunt within 1 week after surgery and lost a foot, that's why.
Well, that wouldn't be fun at all. They take all the fun out of smoking.
Is that your, what else you got? You got anything else?
That's it.
Break out the newspaper, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Benji Cooper, you can find him at Nuglife News. Benji, who is very modest about it, but has probably written now over 1,500 news stories for the Candid Chronicle newspaper. He has written over 100. He just had your 100th article for Candy Geek.
Yeah, we just published our 100th article last week, I believe.
So you're
just chugging along with that.
You are the cannabis news correspondent. Like, I don't know anybody who has that kind of a resume when it comes to contributing cannabis information throughout the media. Or misinformation with that other story, that last story.
Which one? Oh,
the one where we're all doing heroin later after the show, if Adam brought any.
Oh.
Come on, Adam. I know you're holding out, bro. Cannabis leads to heroin. I've never even seen heroin in my entire life. I've never seen...
I don't think I have either.
And I've seen all kinds of drugs. I've traveled all over the world. Never even seen heroin in real life. Fake heroin.
I wouldn't know what to look for.
It's like those gummy bears. They paid it to look like heroin, but they put the real heroin in the safe.
The heroin gummy bears.
The only heroin I know is in my new book, The Trail of Tears, available on Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a girl that saves the day, not as in the drug.
She wasn't doing heroin. She was the heroine.
Benji, where can people find you besides that giant logo you've put up on the screen?
On Instagram, at Nuglife News, and at Candy Geek News.
Can we give out your real phone number? What if they really need to get a hold of you?
Only if they're hot.
Benji will be here with us every single week until we can get him to move to San Francisco, and then you'll see him throughout the entire show. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of home applause and COVID applause for Benji Cooper. COVID applause. Thank you, Benji. You got a cool sign-off thing? Thank you, everybody, or some... What's your quote? What's your quote?
See you later.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just listening now, you are listening to the Nuglife Radio Show. And...
This is Tommy Chong. You're listening to Nuglife Radio.
That was my commercial break. I'm trying to use all my drops at one time. That's Nuglife News with Benji Cooper. Benji, again, make sure you follow him at Nuglife News and tune in every single week when we find out all the good things. Our next guest on the show, just to keep it moving, don't forget again, Emerald Cup is coming up, and if they don't give us a press pass, then I won't clean their toilets for free later. Our next guest on the show, you may have seen them, especially in the San Francisco or San Jose Bay areas. They used to come into the HempCon shows and dominate all the competitions, the rolling competitions, the speedy roll. Recently just winning second place at the Bongathon in Colorado, one of the most top awesome events that you can get. And it was in the rolling contest where they made them actually unroll and re-roll it again. Bongathon 2, make sure you check it out. Bongathon is in Colorado. It is a 3-day cannabis event. I had to jack some juice, but you're good now. It is a 3-day cannabis event. There's still a lot of hiccups with this thing. Here you go, sir. You want some juice? 3 days, you stay there, and you compete for the best of the best in cannabis, and this is like a real Olympic style. You're a mile high in the air. These people are wearing ski masks, the breathing masks to train, altitude masks. Throughout the year, they are running, doing exercise, and then they are clearing, a 1 gram bong in like 26 seconds or some silly thing. 7 grams in 26 seconds, wasn't it? Or that's the record, 31 seconds. Let's bring on the show. We have the very level super polyamorous, because we are talking about it here. Zedgar's the top. Don't ruin it. You're just gonna have to turn the volume down on that show right there. He's like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I know, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. I'm coming to your show tonight. I'm gonna play this whole show in the background. Welcome to Zeds. That's Adam and Samantha. You can find them on OnlyFans, Tinder, Grindr, but it's usually Sam standing in the front in the profile picture. Are their mics hot? Thank you. How come we can't hear you, Paul, when I ask you questions? Does that not come through?
I've only just muted myself.
Oh, you sound great. That is way better than trying to translate through the window. He's all muffled.
Not me.
Adam and Samantha, you guys are pillars of the cannabis community. You roll the coolest Zedgars, which is a cannabis cigar, usually like 20-something grams, and it's hand-rolled, each single one. And they have hashing and wax and some top-grade flower. They take like 15 hours to smoke with 300 people.
You're almost right.
That is right.
Our largest was 7 hours with 1,500 people at HempCon.
Bongathon? No, HempCon.
Remember that one? Yeah. 7 hours. That was crazy.
That was the ounce one. Now we're kind of just, mostly we have like personal sized ones that look like actual cigars. So they're about like 7 to 8 inches long, and they're usually like 12 to 14 grams of flour. And we still do the concentrate, and then if we can, we like to do the hemp leaves because there just isn't a good enough wrap out there.
And you guys are producing all your own concentrates
yes,
as well.
It's
You're
all
doing
in-house.
Growing the weed,
By
growing the
hand
wax,
and-
yeah, making the hash, pressing it, everything.
I mean, yeah, we're trying to go solventless and just do hash rosin. You know, then that way the cannabis can, the whole cigar will just be solventless, and then that way it'll apply to a more wider audience and stuff. But for now, all of this is just personal. So if anyone wants a personal one for fun,
Allegedly selling Zedgars.
So
just
we
make
made
them.
less than every $0 something, isn't it?
Because I was wondering, where do we get, your product?
Oh yeah.
as of right now, we just do, we do orders like request orders. If you want one, you tell us, and then we'll
we
make
make it
you
on
one.
site. We don't have
Yeah.
any made right now. If you ask for one, we'll start making it immediately.
Oh, so you guys make them to order?
Yes, make to order.
Because
No
black
stale
guys
weed.
like blunts. Not a lot of.
Yeah, people love pre-rolls.
That's right up my alley. I
You
like
can
to
use
try
any kind
it.
of wrap, like backwoods.
Yeah, we've done
whatever you like.
backwoods, we've done zigzag flavored wraps, and we've done zigzag makes a nice hemp wrap that's non-tobacco, but it's hard to find because it just got bought by Karma.
Right.
So now it's the same wrap but a different company, and it's hard to find.
I prefer it when you're taking the leaf and you're actually wrapping it with the leaf from the plant.
Yeah.
It feels more natural.
Are
If
you
you
aware
have
of
the
the
leaves
Tyson?
on, like right here, yeah, nobody cares. But if you're in front of Toyota smoking for 2 hours like I was, you want the ones that look like normal cigars, because then nobody knows.
It's true. People like the tobacco wrap, so because that way it does look like a regular cigar when you're out and about.
That's
Have you
funny.
guys
Remember back in the day when you would smoke blunts and you would have to hide it, but now when you're smoking, you have to try to make it look like a blunt so they only think you're smoking a blunt.
It's so crazy. You know what I mean? But have you guys seen the Mike Tyson wraps?
Yeah.
They have the terpenes already in there, and they use the leaf. I saw them when I was down south a couple months ago.
We haven't tried them. I've heard of them.
I'm not a big fan of added terpene. If you don't know at home, terpenes are what creates smell. Everything has terpenes, oranges, your skin, everything has a smell, and that's terpenes that are going up your nose that you smell. Well, they will take a cannabis plant and they will remove the terpenes from that plant, and then they can re-add them into blunt wraps or anything they're doing, usually concentrate strains.
Yes.
They will remove all the terpenes and then take the terpenes from a mango and put it in there. But I feel like it doesn't have that natural flavor that you would find like in a Blue Dream or an OG Kush, where every time you smoke, this is OG Kush. You ain't even got to tell me. Or what was the strain that you're messing with? The
Gas tanker.
gas tanker.
Yeah.
Which
Or-
and you could smell the diesel.
Or the
in
sour
there.
diesel, some basic Southern California diesel. Once you hit it, oh, this is sour diesel. But can I ask the experts a question? I've been dying, man.
Yeah.
'cause
Sure.
I'm not from here, right? And I want to know because I was reading up on THC is not all about THC, the high, right? Because I would go for the highest THC levels, right? But then I would notice, like, I'll get some 37% THC and get some shit that's 20, you know what I mean? And the 20 be fucking way more danker than the other shit. And my question is, because I'm not from here, I'm from Chicago, so I didn't grow up with the legal or, it was always black market or whatever. But what
Or
is-
where we just call it market.
yeah. What's the
Call back on
difference between, like, say the gas tanker I was telling him about? Like, what is the big difference between paying $70 for a 3.5 and $70 for a fucking ounce. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
There's a lot of different variables that go into play, but I think when it comes to more advanced smokers like you and I, like you've been smoking for 40-something years,
Yeah, 40
so
years.
you know what's going to get you high? Something new and different. A different strain is what
That's
gets
what
you
I'm
high.
always
It's
looking
the
for.
full spectrum of it. It's the CBDs, the THCs, the
Cannabinoids.
It's the whole spectrum of the plant. Like I could smoke, like you said, 37% nugs all day long, but when somebody else brings over some band where they grew out of their backyard, that'll get me higher because I haven't smoked that.
Right.
It's a variety thing when you've become like an advanced smoker.
Oh,
We've all
okay.
smoked some Bammer that got us higher than some shit in the club for $60.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I was
Sometimes
saying,
Bammer's
you know,
good.
Is it really worth the money in you guys' eyes to?
I believe it's a lot of hype nowadays. People got that, oh, look at the brand I have and all this, but it's like, you just
what
spent
do you
$80 on an
suggest?
eighth.
Because a lot of times too, like certain strains get they get grown out. Like Blue Dream, it burns hot now. You can't find good Blue Dream. Cookies is so watered down you can't even find
There's
the original
1,000
strain.
different strains of
You know what I'm
cookies,
saying?
like-
And when a strain gets over like genetics, over
Crossbred.
crossbred. There we go.
Right.
When
That's
it gets
the only way you
crossbred,
get higher
then
THC anyway. you
yeah,
know what I mean?
but you lose the other good aspects of that
Of that
individual
original
strain.
strain, yeah.
Okay.
So
When you do that with people, you get Puerto Ricans.
And of course, right, individually, what's the best shit you ever smoked?
Ooh. You
me
know,
and him have two totally different
I
preferences.
love
Oh, you
gassy.
get it. I'm gonna ask you next. I just want to know.
I like gassy, skunky.
Everybody's getting their shot.
Well, see, I have really bad asthma, so I don't like super high terpene.
Okay.
Like I like just the straight, grassy, earthy, skunky. She likes that super tasty, fruity. It's just different types of people, different types of.
So if you had one strand, they say you could only smoke one strand of marijuana, no ifs, ands,
I know
or
what he's
buts,
gonna
no
pick.
going
Jack
back.
Herer, hands down.
Jack-
I think that's the
okay.
most tastiest strain. of all
Great
time.
choice.
Yeah.
Great choice.
I
And
think
that's a
it's-
San Francisco brand, right? Strand, because I hadn't
I
heard
believe
of
so.
that.
I think
No, that is
No, that's-
from
it's
Dan
not-
Herrer. He's the son. He's actually pushing it out, but Jack Herrer was the one of the pioneers of cannabis and psychedelics, psilocybin education. What was that sign, Paul? I never see you.
No, I got
Just
it.
holding up regular
Just a
flags.
technical thing. It's
We don't have a lot of time left. But I want to know, you guys are a progressive polyamorous couple, which is a new thing
Women
for
only.
the world. Right, women. Trust me, guys, I tried. Come on. No. And you guys, it's not just like a sexual thing. You actually will have relationships as a couple, which is like, it's super progressive now. Nowadays, everybody's super open sexually, especially after COVID, where everybody was exposed to every freaking kind of porn, because now porn use is like 6 times the amount. And like everybody's on porn and OnlyFans and. But you guys are like trailblazing right now, because you see other couples that go into a polyamory universe and it destroys them and rips them apart, and guys think it's going to be a big fantasy. Yeah. What's the difference between, let's say, if me and Jermaine decided to go and have a relationship with some chick because we're progressive like that, and it destroys us through jealousy? Jermaine's spending too much time with her. I ain't seeing him enough.
That's the devil's
how do you
triangle.
guys? How are you guys dealing with the inner dynamics of a relationship?
I guess, first off, me and Adam have been together 12 years, and me and him know each
Did you
other.
guys start out like this?
Yeah,
Right,
we've lived
good
together
question.
for
She
12
was
years.
she was straight lesbian when I met her. I had to turn her back to the dark side.
It's like 60-40.
Yeah.
She's at
and
60-40.
so, but
Made it easy.
me and Adam, we established our rules and everything before. Like, honestly, there is no rules, really. It's just boundaries. It's like, hey, this is what I'm comfortable with, and this is what I'm not comfortable with.
What's the one thing? Let's start with you, Adam. What's the one thing you're just not comfortable with in a polyamorous relationship?
3 different women always want to have babies. They always want to have
Oh,
babies.
3
with
of
me.
yours.
No,
I thought you're not
they're
comfortable
all-
with 3 other women. I'm like, this sounds like you did it
I didn't
right.
catch that
Yeah,
one.
no,
Go
that's-
ahead.
no, it's they always want more than we tell them is available right off the bat. They say, hey, I don't want kids, don't want to get married, and what are the first things they want to do? Well, let's have kids and get married. And you're like, no, that's like,
Opposite. of
yeah,
what-
But
it's
it goes back to the boundary settings. Like, we
Yeah.
know what we want, and if the third person is willing to be, that, then we can work from there.
But yeah, communication. That is the
Communication.
What's your one thing, Sam? Don't kiss Adam on the mouth.
Yeah, actually, we don't like kissing.
I don't
What the
even
hell
kiss
are you in
her
a
very
relationship?
much.
I can kiss with girls, but
I cuddle with her for about one
But
day
wait
a
a
month.
minute. Hold on. So can he kiss the other girls? Though?
Oh yeah.
If they
Dude,
want to. I mean,
I'm,
Adam's not much
I'm
of a
the
kisser.
I'm the lead of the
But
whole
you're
thing.
not a
yeah,
kisser
like,
per se, right? That's
Like,
what you're saying.
us getting a girl is for me to have a girl because I like girls. Adam is just
It's just
having
fun.
fun.
It's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
I'm just there
I'm
for
in
the
the same
ride.
kind of dynamic.
And I
I'm
think
in the
that
same
might be
kind of
the.
dynamic with a younger chick, and she has a dude, right? And she's fucking 32, and I'm fucking 52. You know what I'm saying? But she's in the girls, and the dopest part for me is there's no jealousy because if she sees something that she likes and I like it, it's like, hey, let's do it together.
Right.
You feel me? And you know,
There's
keep
no
it
reason why
moving.
you both can't enjoy it.
Exactly.
You ever try to pet a deer? Like a wild deer?
Nah.
That's what it's like when I'm trying to pick up a girl for a three-way.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You in the wrong woods, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You
Gotta
gotta
be very careful.
change the woods and shit. you know?
It's great that we live in a world now too where you could be open sexually and you don't have to, there's a lot of fights that are people out there fighting that don't even really exist anymore.
Yeah,
You know.
you got to be drama free.
But people doing it anyway, if you think about it, right? And it's just fucking destroying the honesty in the relationship.
How many
right?
three-ways
Like,
have you had sexual
How many what?
three-ways?
I can't remember, bro.
That many or
Too many to count?
To be honest.
I was faded.
No, on some real shit because like during the COVID with me and the young chick, we probably had 20. You know what I'm saying?
Know where we're going for Thanksgiving.
Nah, because that's what she was into, and her dude, like I said, he was.
That's a
older.
lot. That's even a lot for. Okay, we're talking 4 years of COVID or that first
Nah,
rush year.
No, obviously it was probably the first 2 years, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
That's
not
one
bad.
a month. That's not bad.
You know
but
what
when
I mean?
I'm dating
It
one a
was
month,
like,
I take
yeah,
shit.
1 or 2 a
'Cause
month, maybe.
It's
you
double
know?
standards.
Double standards.
It's always
Yeah,
gonna be
I've
double
probably
standards.
turned down more than 30 or 40 options
Yeah, like
and only been
everything
with
does-
like 10
right, everything
because
is
they
in
just
the
want to
goal.
fuck.
Right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Or
I'm not down for
sometimes
that.
They don't like the other
That's Mike.
partner. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
there's lots of
I would
variables.
do with it. Right.
Show got
It's
racy.
different.
Yes.
But my question is, what is the difference between an advanced polyamorous?
Get real
person-
close to that mic.
Oh, an advanced polyamorous relationship than a regular polyamorous relationship.
Just for the fucking. If you're just having fun, that I would feel like is more of a just,
Amateur.
we're just going to do this. We don't want a relationship. We don't need to have any complications. Get in, get out. Whatever. it's
How do
fine.
you tell when your partner, that third, is advanced or amateur? Because you're
Right.
just gonna ask her, or you
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
ask these hard, awkward
Communications
questions. Yeah,
right
you
off the
gotta
bat.
have these weird conversations. You just gotta get over it.
So is it basically in an advanced polyamorous situation? It's more intimacy involved in the couples
Cuddling.
than
Yeah,
just
there's
Love.
more
basically
cuddling.
Love is involved.
we're
That's-
gonna
Yeah.
fucking
About-
have a threesome and then go our separate ways instead of actually trying to build some type of
Yeah.
intimacy within the relationship that you're having.
Yeah, like the end goal is to be able to like all of us hold hands and go out.
Yeah, that's
to
what I
a
was
movie,
wondering, like,
you know,
yeah.
or
Yeah.
like we
That
can-
makes
That
me
would
look
be
cool.
super cool, like, you know what I'm saying?
That is making me look cool when you have two
Together.
ladies.
I have
Man, what's
been-
the song?
I have been in 6 polyamorous relationships where I'm living with 2 women, and
Yeah.
I have had polyamorous sex once.
How does that work?
Man, I'm not a deal closer at
He
all.
says not
I
a
got-
deal closer, man. It's
Buying-
ABC, bro. You always gotta be closing.
I know, I'm an
Always.
opener. I'm an
You know-
opener. I get you in there. I
He
get that
says
deer
an
home.
opener.
I can get you.
Then I name it, and I don't want to eat it.
My goal is
No.
that she has someone to cuddle with while I can play video games at night. That just
And
works
that's
out perfect.
cool, man. I think, sometimes an extra lady, like I don't like eating pussy all the time. Like a lady does. And to be honest, as a lady, I'm pretty sure you know that a man can never eat a pussy like a lady.
There are some things
right?
that a girl can
Can do,
satisfy
right,
for me
exactly.
that a
You know what I'm
boy can't
saying? Like,
satisfy for me. Yeah, that's
so
That's
Not
bull
much.
crap. That's bull crap.
I've never heard a lady
I don't
who
think so.
said. I've never heard a lady who
So,
said that.
disagree.
by that principle, Jermaine, you're saying that only a man can suck your penis way better than any woman on this planet.
Technically, probably so.
I mean,
Technically, probably so. I will never experience that type of
I
dick
You're telling me
sucking,
it's the best
but sure,
job in the
because he's a
world,
man.
and you don't want to experience it?
I
Of
feel
course,
like
but
it's
look, they
practice
say you
makes
have a
perfect.
G-string. Look, they say a man's G-spot is in his asshole, right?
is.
I'll never experience that either. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing with a man.
It's
back to
practice
the
makes
middle
That's
perfect.
all I'm
I
saying.
thought you
know?
said you were seeing my
nobody-
sister. If you seen my sister, you experience that.
Man, I've had
right for your butthole.
I've had the finest. It doesn't matter. The lady. I mean, it's just some
What
boundaries.
about your doctor? Your doctor?
If it's a colonoscopy, then that's something different. And don't get me wrong, because I'll rather bitch face like a motorcycle. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'll let her toss my salad, but just don't put your tongue in there, or there's no
Just
penetration.
right up to the doorway.
Right, it's kind of like
don't make
ring
it
around the booty. You know what I'm saying? Like ring around the rosy. Just take your tongue and ring around the booty. Like
I like not being on
that's
the actual
TMI.
FM. I can say anything now.
Yeah, that's TMI, but you know what I'm
Everything
saying?
I ever wanted to know.
I was just saying, you know what I'm saying?
All right,
I had to
Jermaine's
stop
not
doing
eating
that.
vagina, getting his butthole licked. Adam is playing video games, and
I don't have to cuddle.
Yo.
That's the whole point of this.
you know what's gonna happen is the world gonna keep going like this, and we're all just gonna be one little gray people that just run around and have nothing because
You
we've
gotta
already
have
done
standards.
Sound like
everything.
satisfied people. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's getting a fair exchanges in a robbery. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, while you playing video games, you guys can cuddle all you want. You know what I'm saying? And that way you
Killing
can
two birds, one stone.
two exactly.
Everyone's
you
having their
call the
needs
duty
met.
and she's licking the booty. You feel me? Or
Shove a
whatever
bird
it
in your
is.
butt.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta have a cage too. That helps.
Hey,
Well, there's lots of different types
Next
of
time on
relationships.
That's
Radio.
another
I was gonna
level.
end the show, and I'm like, oh, hold on,
On
we're
the
gonna
next
talk about
show,
a
we'll
cage.
do
Mike said,
cages.
"I have a cage."
Paul lives in a cage.
I've been to his house. He has like 3 of them. I'm like, oh, what's happening?
that
For
cage
sexual
life.
preference.
Living
You
that
still got the
life.
cages, Paul?
You can see him in the mirror. of the camera.
He's over there fist pumping like, yeah, I've got this new one from
Back in
Amazon.
your cage.
Paul's got one on Black Friday.
What's the?
know that
What, did you ever have like the one for as a couple, the one that got away from you?
Kelly.
That's a dope question.
Kelly, we
But she
we
turned
were
out
her
to be a
first.
whore, so.
Yeah, we were
Oh, he
we
said
were
she
her
wanted to be a
first, and
whore.
then she got bored with us.
Yeah, next thing you know, she's at clubs being tied up for public
Doing
shows,
public
and I'm
stuff
like,
and-
wow, you went off the
wow.
deep end quick. Like,
So
and-
we
What Kelly? What?
Kelly who? Kelly where?
Hey, we
no,
going to the
not
club.
really.
Bring
No.
rope.
Honestly, if any of them get away, I just like catch and release. Go
Right.
back
That's
into the
true,
wild,
yeah.
have
I mean,
fun.
like, she
I already
was-
am married, I
Yeah.
don't need it.
Would
She
you
was-
feel like okay now, Jermaine? Personally, I don't like to have sex with women that my friends have been with. in
No.
some
Oh,
way.
that's-
it's just
Yeah,
there's something weird
that's
about
a-
it.
that's a
Yeah, I'm
line.
not with that
There's a line
dynamic
there.
either.
That's
you
crew
know what I'm
love.
saying?
So
We
would
don't
it
do
be
that.
weird, like if like I was in a 3-way relationship with a chick, and then we broke up with that chick, and then she started hitting on you guys and started hooking? Do you have that same dynamic, or
It's
are they
still
just
Eskimo brothers.
it's
That's
still the
Eskimo
same.
cousins, but it's still Eskimo
It's an
related.
Eskimo
Yeah.
family?
It's a
We're
Eskimo
rubbing
family, yeah.
noses. We're rubbing
And
noses.
speaking of clubs, right? Me not being here, where's a good starting point? For
We are
me
none
to
of us are from here.
dab into the polyamorous lifestyle.
Right here, bro.
Tinder, the dating
I'm
thing.
not trying to dab in the motherfucking fentanyl. I'm
Came to
saying
the right place.
polyamorous.
I think the
guess
dating
just-
sites make it a lot easier.
I tried
Way
them,
easier.
but it's always give us some money and it's some bullshit.
I'll
know
tell
what
you,
I'm
if
saying?
you're a
Like,
guy and you're out there trying to become part of another couple, a little easier than finding 2 women. So if you're a
Yeah.
guy looking for women, or a guy even taking the advance, it's very hard because the testosterone scares the women back. But if you get a bait chick, right, and you throw your bait out there and just keep reeling her back in, she'll just keep bringing them back.
So let the bait chick do the work for you.
Right.
It's true. I'm the first picture on all
Makes
these
sense.
accounts.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it makes
I'm the
sense.
picture, and then I'm like, oh, you like me? What about my husband?
Right.
You have to be careful for the catfish out there too. The
Oh,
ones
yeah,
that say,
you turn
"Oh, I'm
down
bi.
10, yeah.
I'm bi. I want
Benji
you
Cooper,
know.
you catching all this? This is what happens when you're not in the studio with me. Just gets all
Have you guys
sexual.
noticed?
This is. Can you hear Russ and Ray, Russ Motlow over there at the other studio, and Rich just rolling in their graves right now?
We'll be off the air already.
We would have been off the air. Yeah, they'd have kicked us off the air already. At the first F word, right?
goal achieved."
Waiting on the dump button.
Benji, how are you in the polyamorous world? Just a one
Not.
guy gal.
Just both hands. I mean,
We are going to end this wonderful, wonderful day. We have knocked our first show out. Look, Benji just disappeared. We just brought you in for that giggle, and then he booted you back. I want to say thank you to Edge Studios, who we'll be starting our adventure with. Paul Brumbaugh, who's doing all the actual hard work back there.
Thank you, Paul.
Benji Cooper,
Thank
who
you,
is
Paul.
putting all the education into our show. And I'd like to thank Jermaine Reeves for coming out here. Make sure you check out his show. He's going to be next week headlining over in Redwood City, but he's going to be dressed like an angry black guy, so make sure it's the right angry black guy.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot.
Just walk up to random black people and go, "Are you the angry black guy?"
It's a tall, angry black guy. Can't be the short.
The tall, that's right. Tall, angry black guy.
That's why it's Tab.
And make sure you check out Zedgars. You can't find them anywhere legal. But if you're hanging out behind a 7-Eleven after midnight and you see Adam and Sam over here cruising for chicks, they might have a Zedgar on them.
Zed Farms 2.0.
You could follow them. You can follow them. Hit them up for lovins on Zed Farms 2.0 on Instagram.
Yeah, that's Zed like dead. Z-E-D.
Zed Farms 2.0. There was a 1.0, but they didn't
Don't
like that
follow that
chick,
one.
and she was stalking them, so
That's
they
what-
changed the whole thing around. Kelly has the password to that one. Thank you again, everybody, for coming in. Tune in next week. Next week, I'm going to have some amazing people in. We're going to start calling all my celebrity friends, and we probably get Godfather or somebody on the line. And we are going to have a wonderful time. Thank you again. I am Medicinal Michael. Follow me on Instagram under Medicinal Michael. Make sure you see all my comedy shows and Twitch, TikTok, YouTube. We're going to have it all fixed up and loaded up. This was just our first show back to hit the ground, and we're running. And we thank you guys for sharing your time with us. And I was going to do a giveaway today, but if you just share my show and you're the first person I've seen that shared the show when I
There we
get
go.
and look on my Facebook or whatever, then
Already
I'm going to hook
shared it.
you up. We already got you hooked up. Jermaine, we got something for you
Giveaways
because you actually showed up. And thank you for staying. Jermaine, again, we just pulled him out of the hallway here. I was like, what do you do? He said, comic. I said, I need you. We're going to have Chris Williams on. From Candy Chronicle next week. I couldn't get to him this week because he's at his child's football game, but the Candy Chronicle is in San Diego. Make sure you check out Big Red's concentrates at Big Red Farms, Big Red OG. Big Red OG on Instagram. And check out Benji Cooper at Nuglife News. And what was your Instagram one more time?
Jermaine L. Reeves. And what was your favorite strands? You can tell me. Yours.
Jack Herrera.
Oh,
Jack Herrera.
We got 30
There's
seconds. Come on,
Cuvée.
spit it out.
Cuvée.
Cuvée.
You.
That's not even a real strain.
it's the family from
Swiss
the snow
cheese.
cap.
Swiss cheese. Thank you.
UK Swiss cheese.
Gotcha. You can
Cuvée is.
And we're going to smoke some, allegedly, right in the backseat of Paul's car.
Cool, because it will be Jack Herrera, because that's my favorite also. So 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
You know what? Next week we'll get Dan Herr on the show. I can give him a call.
What's happening?
Shout out to the Harris. We love you guys. And shout out to everybody. Andrew Hutchins, rest in peace, brother. We do it for you. And we will see you guys later next week if none of us catches COVID from Paul's microphones. Tune in. Benji Cooper.
Thanks, man.
How close to that was an hour?
Interruptions and shit.